Okay, with everything that's going on in the media with Richie Incognito and his bullying Jonathan Martin, it occurred to me that it's real important that someone talks about what's really going on. And this is a very complex problem that people are trying to oversimplify. Anybody that's seen the things that Incognito said to Martin knows that it's boorish, it's deplorable, there's no room for it in sports, and how could you treat someone on your team that way? The problem is that people aren't considering that this is part of a bigger culture. This is a bigger problem. Because Incognito is the type of player that people want on their team. He's a grunt, and grunts will do things that you need to do in order to win. Doesn't necessarily make him a good role model, and if he's reinforced for acting that way on the field, it's not so surprising that he'll act that way off the field. But this didn't happen in isolation. This didn't just happen to Martin. This didn't just happen on the Dolphins. It's happened in different places, which tells you that the culture allows for it, or at least allows parts of it. In this particular situation, we have somebody who is treating a teammate horribly, and you have people saying, oh, bullying is bad, or athletes won't perform as well when they're alienated from their team. That's not rocket science. There's no mystery there. You have to understand that the NFL locker room is a culture of warriors. And when you have this traumatic bonding, that what people do in the locker room, people don't want to hear this stuff. Most of the things that happen, the average person could not tolerate. But there's a big difference between making a rookie sing a stupid song or get a bad haircut or carry the veteran's pads versus racial epithets, character assassination, running them into bankruptcy with ridiculous bills for meals. This is not about how you build a team, okay? You want to be going to war with these brothers, not going to war at these brothers. So you talk about Incognito, he's the type of guy that you'd want to go to war with, not for, because he's not a good spokesperson. We have a huge systems issue. If you want to get rid of this type of behavior, tell me why no one else on the team stood up and said, this is crap, you can't treat someone on our team that way. Why was administration and leadership unaware? Either it was kept from them, which to me, it's leadership's responsibility to know these things, or they knew and they didn't care. Which isn't so surprising, because in every profession there's some form of indoctrination and hazing. It's not just fraternities. When doctors or medical students, interns and residents are treated like crap. Clerks, when they're becoming a lawyer, psychologists, all of these things have some form of indoctrination, and it's hard work. The idea is to earn your rite of passage. If we don't understand that hazing and indoctrination is not the problem, it's the moral compass that decides when it goes over the line that's the problem. And we stand from the outside saying what's right and wrong as if it's so easy to figure out. It's not so easy. When you have a culture that believes that things should happen a certain way, you have something called groupthink. People start doing what the group says. It's why gang rapes happen. You'll turn around and say, I know Johnny, he would never be involved in something like that. And you're probably right, if Johnny was by himself. But if Johnny is part of a culture that thinks that treating women like crap is okay and do what you need to get sex, you might see him act in different ways. So when you're trying to build a warrior, if left unchecked, you're going to get behaviors that you don't like.